I wanted to come on because I don't do this, as some of you know, and I just thought, today's Memorial Day. I hope I can be. Hope I can be heard. Okay. I should probably check the sounds. That's funny. See, today is Memorial Day. For those of you that may not know that, I always I always want to look at me. I want to look at that. I don't know, where am I supposed to look. This is too funny. This is why I don't do this. It's so funny. Like, you can put me on front on a stage as a comic. I don't think I have any sound. Oh, I turned the volume down on this laptop. Oh, good. Okay. There is sound. That is too funny. So it says that someone's watching. If you're watching, leave a comment that you can hear me and see me just fine. So yeah. So I don't do this. And I was thinking about my dad today, because I always think about my dad on Memorial Day. And he was something else, man. He was a madman. Oh, shit. Okay. I'm not normally trying to figure out how to, do this and talk and have it in the screen. I hope you guys can see me. So, yeah. This piece I am working on, She That Is Not Named Yet, originally I started her one day during lunch when I was watching Christy Shin, who is the illustrator and genius behind Demon Bitch. If you don't follow her, you should go follow her. And I just, when I'm watching her, I always draw. Like, I get my sketch out, or I get my pen out, or I do something. So I had been thinking about taking this. Oh, I am not getting enough paint on my brush. Anyway, I was thinking about putting this piece on a hi, Rich. I was thinking about recreating this piece from an older piece. The original is an 8x10. She's a smaller piece. And it started with the intention of recreating her. Her Name is Surrender is the piece, the original art. And that did not happen. It's a whole completely different concept going on here. I mean, the pose is the same. Her expression is similar. Her facial structure is very different. The body is a little different. I don't really like to stay all that true to the true human form in my paintings. I have a question scrolling at the bottom of my screen because I thought it would be fun while I was on for people like Rich, who hopped on for a second, to answer that question while they're here. I didn't get a chance to do the on-the-spot show, which was fine. Turns out I wouldn't have been able to do it even if I had wanted to. And so I renamed it and rebranded it to Spotlights with Dory, and I have plans for it. Have had other projects. Let me see where the camera is with this. So basically I'm going to have to probably put this paint closer to me with more paint. When I'm dead and gone, so yeah, basically I lost my train of thought. So what I was saying is today's Memorial Day. I always think about my dad on Memorial Day. I didn't get raised by my dad, but he was around and he was in my life here and there. And when he was in my life, there was a few things I got to know about him real quick, and they influenced me, even though he didn't raise me. Like I said, he was a madman. He was a Navy SEAL. He served in Vietnam. And one of my favorite memories of my dad is I was, hi, whoever's watching. There's a question scrolling at the bottom. Take a moment and read that question and answer it in comments for me. So my dad had I had a half brother, and we were over at my dad's, and we were playing by the bayou, and this kid, I can't even remember my half brother's name. We weren't raised together. We had different moms. So anyway, he talks me into leaning forward to get a lily pad out of the bayou, which of course I did. I did a lot of things just because boys told me to when I was growing up. Stupid girl. And so anyway, I fell in. I think I was 5. No, I did not know how to swim yet. And luckily my dad was there, and he just leaned over that side of the bayou and grabbed me by the back of my body by my shirt, similar to how we pick up cats sometimes, and swooped me up out of the bayou. And that's just one of a few memories. He taught me how to shoot. He taught me how to use I'm probably going to say it wrong. I'm probably not going to call it the right thing, but one of those throwing stars, martial arts throwing stars, taught me how to do some things with knives. Yeah, it cracks me up. One of my stand-up jokes alludes to that, like, where did I get my strength from, or where did I get my attitude, or where did I get my personality, where did I get my ability to not give a fuck or be savage as fuck. I 100% credit that stuff to my dad, the ex-Navy SEAL crazy man. Like, yeah, sorry. He kind of he set up this world where I was not afraid of the world. Long before I was an adult. Afraid of everything and not afraid of anything. It's ironic, but it's true. Very true. So, anyway, with me talking and doing this and trying to figure out if this is even, it's so fun. This is just too fun. There was a time I was just talking to one of the mentors I have in my life. I was talking to him yesterday. He was one of the first people that ever bought any of my art that I would never show people. And he bought one of my first pieces. Actually, I think he bought 4 of my pieces. He kind of went shopping. He was one of the people that convinced me to put it out there. And then when I did put it out there, I don't know if you guys can see this okay. As soon as I put it out there and I get it out there, he bought a bunch of pieces. I want to say he bought 4. Maybe 4. Yeah. So anyway, I was talking to him yesterday, and I was telling him about where, the progress I've made in the 6 years since that happened, since I was convinced to sell my art for the first time or show it to people for the first time. And it was really cool because the progression's been just something quite amazing. And it still kind of sometimes shocks me that I let people see it.
Okay. Hey, I'm going to compromise. Okay, so I recorded.
I had to figure out what I was going to do, if I was going to play something in the background. I put on my spoken word poetry because I can't play what I was listening to, what I was painting to. I had Bob Marley on today, and, God forbid we do anything, and mess with copywriting, but I would have loved to have been doing this and talking with everyone with Bob on in the back. That would have been fucking rad. Oh my God, I'm talking about the same thing I just said. Maybe I should stop talking about it. I'm just kidding. Oh, yeah. So my dad served in Vietnam, and he left the military, worked in Hollywood as a stuntman for a while. And if you want to believe what he would say, he played football. He was crazy, so who the fuck knows? He was one of those people. Probably had more made up stories than the real ones. Who knows? All I know is that he was my first love. He was my first, like, oh my God, I love this man. And, yeah. But he just, he definitely is one of the reasons why I like strength. I like people who are strong, people who are brave. I like everybody. I love everyone, actually. And as my best friend knows, if you're not strong or brave, hang around me for a while, because I'll help you. I'll help you get that way. I'll help you find your voice, for sure. Which is kind of ironic when I think about how I had no courage to do this, like on any kind of public level, to any kind of level. And then to get to a point now where, 6 years later, I'm still doing it. I'm still showing it. I'm still getting it out there. Not as much as I could. I don't have a lot of time. But yeah, that same person, me, in other circumstances of my life, pretty fearless. I got no fear with some of the things. Probably to my own detriment. I'm probably too brave. So yeah, it just happens. Hi, if you're watching. Thank you for being here. There's a question scrolling at the bottom. If you want to take a moment to answer it for me. It's really not there for just fun. Like, I really am interested. I asked that question of my broadcast assistant one day. It just came to me, and it was really cool because I hadn't even thought about that. I hadn't thought about it for myself, even really, as a question, like how I would answer that. And my favorite toy as a child, I got it when I was 8 years old. It was a brown teddy bear, and it was my absolute favorite teddy bear. And I had that teddy bear till I think I was 21 or something. And the only reason I don't have it is because someone took it. And at the time, I was infuriated. But now, the older I've gotten, it was a little girl who took it. We're pretty sure it was a friend of my niece. And when I think about it now, if that little girl needed to steal a teddy bear as a toy or whatever, she definitely needed it more than the 21-year-old me. Oh my God, this is going to look so good by the time I get done. So I've got most of this done, if you want to see. Let me see, how do I do this? Wait. Oh my God. This sucks. Okay, that kind of sucks. There's pictures of her on my page. So when I get done with the black, I'm basically going through this whole side of her with the black. That should be all I have left to do. But I won't know until I'm done because she'll tell me. And, I don't know if other artists, painters out there can relate to this, but I really don't stop putting paint on the canvas until the piece tells me it's done. Sometimes I have a plan, and sometimes the canvas plans what happens. Similar to this one when I started it. This was not the intention, but I actually love this piece so much, and I was playing around with some software yesterday because I've never lived in the digital art world at all. I've always been one of those kinesthetic people, super kinesthetic to a degree where like the idea of not having my hands on what I'm doing, like in that way, just I couldn't wrap my brain around it. And so I'm playing in that area right now. Anyway, I took this particular piece and was playing around with some editing software, and there's some cool things I can do to her digitally for some things. That's pretty interesting. I was a little shocked. I mean, I'm not shocked, but I've been kind of, in some ways, some of the people who know me closely know, I kind of feel like I've been living under a rock. My brain's been exploded music-wise. I follow so many different new musicians I never followed before, music I didn't follow before. 51 years old, and I feel like I just woke up. It's like, did I just come out of a coma? Where have I been? So, anyway. I am super excited. I was thinking about one of the reasons. Okay, so other than coming on here and wishing everyone a happy Memorial Day, and doing this in honor of my dad, because if for those of you watching that missed it, my dad was a brave man. He was a Navy SEAL that fought in Vietnam, and amongst a lot of other things that made him super brave. So the idea of doing my art where people could watch me was like the bravest thing I could think of doing today. And so that's why I'm on here. That's why I'm on here, showing everyone the final, hopefully maybe the final touches on her, this piece that I'm doing. And yeah, so that is why I'm on here. Oh, the other reason I came live is that I follow a few people out there. Hopefully if they watch this later, Pops, Joshua, there's a few people in my life who go live and have live shows, podcasts or whatnot. And I follow them because I am so super excited. That's like one of the only, there's not much that came good out of this last year of our lives, right? But what I have found is that these live broadcasts with creators where I get to watch them draw. Oh, Christy Shen, another one. Love it. I love the fact that I'm this introverted loner, totally isolated up here in my room, in my room up here with my roommate, my house his house in Ramona, and I get to go and I get to sit and I get to watch people live. Joshua's in Canada, Christy's in LA. I'm not sure. I think Pops is on the East Coast somewhere. I'm gonna have to look. But anyway, it's super exciting because like I get to have this connection to this world out there without leaving the house. And I love it. I love it. Rich, who was on earlier, he's another one. He draws live. And I just love that. I love that. I love it. And so that was another reason why today I said, oh, I should go live. If I'm going to work on her hair, I should go live. Because, I mean, even if nobody watches me, people have been hopping on, people have been hopping off. I see that. I see y'all. Mwah. I love you for stopping by. But yeah, like that's super cool because, whether someone can watch it now or watch it later, it'll be there. It'll be there. Ooh. Oh, we're going to need to be a little bit more precise right here. Can y'all see? There we go. There we go. I need to get another tripod. So I have one, but it has my light. And I was realizing earlier that I need another one for the camera. Because that would make this a lot easier. I was really appreciative of the Pops and Christy Shen and Rich Paradas of the world and Joshua's right now today when I was setting this up, because I was sitting there going, this is fucking complicated. Like, how do I do this? I gotta like StreamYard it and figure out how to add then I'm like, I gotta send myself the invite. It was fun. I was cracking myself up. I couldn't figure out how to make the name thing go away on the other screen as the other whatever. I don't even know if that's possible in StreamYard, but I will find out later. I could not find out today. So I just left it blank. And so, yeah, we'll see. We will see. So, yeah, so after I get done with the black, then I will step back from it. I'll probably hang it on the wall and see what I think. And if I'm done, I'm done. And if not, then I will figure out what I'm going to do next. But I definitely, I know that I'm going to be here a while. I may not stay live the whole time. But I intend to take my time with this because one of the reasons why the old me from years back wouldn't finish anything is I would get super friggin' lazy or annoyed. And I would just be like, put it away. I'd put whatever the art was away in a closet somewhere. And I would leave it be. I would just leave it be. And I wouldn't finish it. And which is, 6 years ago when I finally decided to do something with my art, not just have it sitting in a closet. I took everything out of my closet, went through a bunch of boxes, went through like just everything I had. I had 36 unfinished pieces of art in my closet. And it took about 2 weeks, I think it was, and I finished them all. I ruined a few. They were so old. I mostly did art. Most of my art back then was on paper. I didn't use canvas. And there were a few pieces that they were just too old. They were sketches or they were black and whites. Charcoals. I used charcoal when I was younger. It was my favorite. I still every now and then will get the charcoal out. When I really want my fingers super dirty or my hands to really feel the art, I will get my charcoals out and I will do charcoals on paper and on sketch paper. And I've done a few charcoals on canvas, which are super rad. But it's so funny. Like my medium is very dependent on my mood. Very dependent on my mood. Like when I started her, the reason I started with I use watercolors a lot, but primarily have only been using watercolors because they're super, super forgiving and I can do all kinds of things with them. And if I do something and I don't like it, I am not one to care much about wiping slate. I've done that a few times. I've used water and completely scrubbed down a canvas and started over. And no fucks were given. No fucks were given. But yeah, like I have a couple of other pieces that I haven't finished that I started. I have one oil. Never worked with oil before. I kind of like it. I kind of don't. It takes too long to dry. And for some of the way I paint, I can't have it wet too long because I need because then it annoys me when I'm trying to do the next color. I don't do a lot of blending. So yeah, I was finding it was the fact that it stays wet a long time was annoying me. So we will see how long it takes for me to get back to that piece. We'll see. It's hanging on the wall. It doesn't look bad the way it is, but I need to do some more work on it. Definitely not done. No, so that's one of the things I've learned is that I'm okay putting a piece aside. I'm okay setting it aside, not finishing it, and waiting for the inspiration to come back. Because when I've tried to force it, oh my God, no. That's usually when I don't like what I've done. I don't like what's come out of the piece. And so I've learned in the last, 6 years since I finally started finishing my work, what gets me to really finish it really is to leave it be. If I get to a point where, yeah, I know I'm being lazy or I'm not taking the extra steps, I will put it away. I will totally put it away. One of the reasons why I do a couple of different creative things other than painting is because of that. Because when I can't paint anymore, I just cannot paint anymore, I'll write or write a joke or nothing. binge out in front of a television and do nothing. Oh my God, I finished Lucifer yesterday. I love that show. It's one of the best shows ever. It took me forever to be talked into watching it. But then when I finally did, I was super happy I did. Woohoo! So, so yeah, this is coming out exactly how I was expecting it to. It's not going to look matte the way that it does when it's all said and done, because I will seal her with an acrylic gloss spray. I used this really, it took me a few tries to find the exact one that I like, the exact brand that I like, that has just the right coverage, just the right gloss, just the right touch, and it dries perfectly, except for in hot weather. Definitely learned the hard way not to bother in hot weather trying to spray my art after it's done. So anyway, so even though like right now the watercolors as they're drying or after they're dry, they're not shiny, she will definitely be. I have a few people in my life who prefer the way my pieces look before I'm done with them as opposed to the finished product. And that's okay. That's their taste. My taste is very different. I want my pieces to, when I look at them, I want to be like looking at a stained glass window. That is the best way to describe the vision in my head. That is the closest thing to any kind of theme I would say they have, because I don't really follow a theme. I was so cool. I couldn't get in because they were booked, or I don't even know what the right word is, but there's an artist group. I don't even know what to call it, really. I'm sure there's a word for it. But there's a gallery up here in Ramona, and they don't have any more space for any more artists. So they're totally full. Had I known that, I probably wouldn't have applied to be one of the artists, to be one of the contributors. And it's a membership, and you pay, and you can hang your work, and you can work in the studio, that kind of stuff. So anyway, I applied and sent in my pieces and sent in my application, and you know, had they had space for another artist, it was nice being told that I would have been told yes, even though they couldn't make space for me, which is great. I love that part. But what I really love more than that was how the woman, I don't even know what to call her, the curator, president, I don't know, she's whoever she was. I have her name, I have her email. Her work is beautiful. I've seen it. I've checked it out. Anyway, she said my art was compelling. I've had a lot of different words, you know, a lot of different words, descriptive words used with my pieces. Compelling was definitely that made me smile. It definitely warmed my heart, because that's pretty much what I want. I don't want it to look like anything else or anyone else.
There's no snap, bam, and I'm over you, man. Not this lover. The way it's that tangible kind of burn. That burn you can feel long after. The kind of love that stays with you. The kind of love that scars you. I loved you? Oh my God, you bet I still do. Love you.
So where are we on time? Oh, half hour. And I'm like, I don't know, not that far up. I knew this would take a while. And so it was also like, oh, you know, this would be the perfect time to do this, because with some of the other times, like, or some of the other parts of the process with what I'm doing, it wouldn't make any sense to go live, because I would be like, I don't even know sometimes what I'm planning to do. You know, the piece hasn't told me, I haven't got to a certain point, I haven't done it, I started it, whatever. So this was pretty clear cut. Like, I knew exactly what I intended to do. just basically outlining where it moves me to outline it, highlight some of the colors that I threw in here. And then when I'm done, I'll go back and add any detail that I see in here that is needed in a few places. Like I can already get a feel that when I'm done doing this, I may want to go in here with another light color, one of the neons or something. But maybe not. We will see. We will see. The other thing that came, really positive thing that came out of being willing to share the process before a piece is done, was that I love the fact that I'm like, I wish I had thought about this sooner, but I'm taking pictures of these throughout the process, and I didn't do that before. So, let me see. How do I get this in this frame? There we go. There we go. I didn't take pictures during the process. And so, like, I've had a couple of other ideas since. One of my friends, she took one of my art pieces and she's like, oh my God, I want this. She colors. She likes to color. It's a therapeutic process. It helps a lot of people to color. And she's like, I would love to be able to color this. And so I took one of my pieces, and it took a while. It took a while because, I hadn't taken any pictures of it before it was finished. And I was able to create a coloring page for her, which gave me some ideas about a coloring book, but I didn't finish it. I did not get it done because of the 100 pieces I have, of 101 finished pieces in my room. I didn't take pictures of them before there was color on them, and some of the time it takes to remove the color in order to make it a workable coloring page for someone was a little painstaking. So I didn't give up. I just put it away. I may, one day revisit that whole project. But with these new pieces, so now because of that, as well as being willing to get brave and share my work with people as I'm actually working on it, I'm taking pictures throughout the process, and it's super rad because it's giving me this opportunity of using my art, even though it may be a piece on canvas, this, real painting. I can take the piece and I can create other things with it. I can come up with other stuff with it, like the coloring pages if I want. That's one of them. So that was pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And then what it also does is it gave me, my mind just kind of exploded with some ideas because I have 2 children's books that I will probably need to rewrite or finish writing, I should say, and then illustrate them. And I have, I've always told myself, what a pain in the butt, what a long, tedious process. It's not the same. It's all these different things. And then the hardest part for me is figuring out, how do you take a sketch? For my people out there that I'm following like a mad woman now because I can't get enough of comic illustrators. I'm like, how the fuck do you take a sketch and turn it into an image that you can put in a book? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't know the first thing about that. Why would I? I didn't even let people see my work until 6 years ago. So anyway, so that's a whole new thing I'm looking at and trying to figure out, and probably going to take a class, or probably, keep soaking up as much information as I can from all of these genius gurus that I'm coming across and meeting in my life. The Rich Paradas and Christy Shens of the world. And so I will figure it out. And hopefully I'm alive long enough to do it. That'd be really cool. That would be super cool. Oh, the camera's fuzzy. Whoa. That's weird. That is weird. Let me see. What are you doing? It's this other computer acting weird. I had this happen with the camera on the laptop where it would stop focusing. It was the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. And I'm like, stop it. Okay? Just stop with your focusing bullshit. There we go. Nope. It's all crazy fuzzy. Well, can you see? That other computer doesn't have as good of a ability for streaming, so that's probably why. So, I sorry it's fuzzy. I sorry. Where do I go? Where do I go? There we go. Oh boy. I Am My Friend is on. It's one of my favorite poems. I wrote that poem ages ago for a man I was friends with in my late or 20s, I think. Anyway, he was like the first man I ever had an actual friendship with that was platonic, wasn't built around sex, and I mean, there was always the sexual tension and weirdness sometimes, once in a while, but we managed. I don't know how we did, but I mean, it's been a while since I've been in touch with him. It was like a lifetime ago. It was a whole other lifetime ago. But
Love's been here.
it's 100% capable of having friendships with men and not, doing other stuff with them. So this is cool. Oh my God. So I went to make coffee today. It took 3 tries because the first time I forgot that I had tea in the pot from the pot I didn't finish last night. And so I look at it when it's done and I'm like, okay, that's way too much coffee in there because I don't make a full pot at once. I usually only make like enough for 2 cups. And it was because the tea was still in there. And I'm like, I like coffee and I like tea. And they're not bad together, but I was not having it today. So I had to dump that and start over. And so I get it all ready to go and forget to turn it on. Come back thinking I'm going to pour myself my cup of coffee and it's not made because I didn't hit start. So it took a while for me to get my coffee today. And then I'm like, I still end up drinking most of my coffee and tea. I end up drinking them cold because I'll make the pot and I'll make the cup and then I get busy doing something like this and I forget I even have a cup of coffee sitting next to me, which is fine. I'm not really complaining because if I'm gonna forget I have coffee, why not have it be because I'm creating. Ooh. Some of the things that my brush does, I don't plan it and it does it and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I like that. I like that technique. I like that look. I like the way that stroked. And then I'll use it again. Luckily, I have a horrible short-term memory, but I remember stuff like that. I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that, and then it'll work, and I'll use it on another day, at another time. So yeah.
When the darkness clouds over and hopes
Ooh.
hide and reach for me. I'll smile. I'll tell you a joke. Sing you a song. Kiss you in time. Wrap your heart in snow. And I'll remind you that you are beautiful.
Oh my God, I have to talk about this. So if you're watching right now, go follow. The camera is blurry again. So I got to go, honor a friend who passed on Saturday, and I mean, I could spend another, whole entire day talking about every single moment of that event and how wonderful and magical it was. But one of the things that, because I'm doing this artwork right now, and I don't know if she'll watch or if she's watched or hopped on, but Kate is her name, and Muted Dysphoria, excuse me, I'm probably saying it wrong, is the name of her page. She's an artist. Go follow her. She's amazing. She had her easel set up, and she did a piece that day. She worked on a painting the whole night, and I try not to cry. I was blown away. I mean, I already love her technique. I love what she does. It's very different than me, but I love her work. It's stunning. And that's the word I would use, is it's stunning. I stare at it. If I look at a piece of art and it makes me stare at it, I'm probably going to want to buy one. And I actually, I forgot to tell her, that's okay. But I have one of her pieces in her Etsy saved for when I can afford it. Yeah. So anyway, I got to watch her. I got to watch her create a painting in real life in front of like dozens of people, and I was just blown away. I was so blown away. It was a memorial for a friend who passed, and it was emotional. It was sad. It was happy. It was joyous. It was every emotion under the sun. And for me, as a painter, as an artist, getting to be in the room with another painter while they're painting, I'm sorry, orgasms are rad, but they don't compare. They just don't compare to how special and how amazing it was to get to be in the same room with her while she was creating that painting. I would take that experience over sex any day, yeah. So anyway, it was amazing. The finished product is beautiful. She's donating it to the family. And yes, I'm now a huge fan. Our friend that passed, Van Bates, who was known as Black Hesher, there's a lot of people in this world that know each other now that wouldn't have known each other if it wasn't for Van. And me knowing who Kate is, along with oh my God, I could be here all day talking about everyone I know in my life today. And, yeah. Hi, I'm getting to some greens in there. That's so cool. So exciting. Where am I at on time? Okay. Yeah, I'll probably, do this for another 15 minutes or so and be done. Because I'll need to get up, stretch my legs. So, yeah, because after I'm done here live, hi to anyone who's watching. Welcome. there's a question scrolling at the bottom of the screen. If you're willing to answer that, that would be rad. So yeah, like when I'm offline and I am done with this broadcast, I will put Bob Marley back on. It's funny, like the connection in my head when it comes to what I'm doing creatively and how it ties into the music I choose. Today I knew I wanted to finish the hair on her, which is the hair turned out like in my piece that this one's based on. Her hair is just hair, with some bows or something. And then, but this one, when I was doing the original sketch, it turned into this very different take. Like there's a lot of green in here that I'm probably going to come back in and give some vine detail as vines or something. And then I have this blue that turned into a representation of water. So she, in so many ways, is reminding me of the piece I did called Angel, which is a mermaid. And Angel is she's probably like one of the smallest pieces I ever did. She was on paper. She sold. I don't have the original. One of these days I will get around to taking that piece and turning it into some digital pieces for people, because she's like one that people like. But she had when I did her, I created her with all of the 4 elements in her, like in the painting, fire, earth, air, and water. And I felt that coming out of me when I was doing this piece as well. And this one is the first piece I've done. Hi, Pops. This is the first piece I've done where the female form in here has tattoos. And of course the tattoos turned into, some are just tattoos in my head, like what I envisioned, but some of them are representation of some things that were coming out of my creativity when I was sketching her or whatever. And so that is where I can feel some of that going. And when I get done with the black, I feel myself thinking about going back and looking at the green and doing some more fine detail, like I said, about, with some, where do I go? Okay. The camera. The heart. Hi, stupid autocorrect. Okay. Evel Knievel stunt cycle. That thing was built tough and jumped many a ditch. I'm not sure what that means. You might have to explain that. I am the first person that will willingly admit I am a dork and I don't know a lot of stuff. And the stuff I do know is probably useless to some people. I got all kinds of brainiac stuff in my head that I know for like my day job or whatever, and like I can't forget it to save my life even if I wanted. And then I have other stuff where I'm like, I don't know, don't ask me. I loved Evel Knievel. That was, oh my God, when that was on TV when I was a little girl. You missed the part. Oh my God, Pops. What's your favorite? Oh, favorite toy. Oh my God, I'm such an idiot. You're the first person to actually answer that question. That is so rad. You probably won't be shocked by this, Pops, but I was not a girl who played with Barbies. I liked playing with my brother's G.I. Joe dolls. All his G.I. Joe stuff. That was cool. Other than the brown teddy bear that I talked about earlier, which was my favorite, playing with my brother and playing G.I. Joe together, that was a highlight of my childhood. The most I did with Barbie dolls was cut off their hair and make them do things with the G.I. Joe dolls. That's what I did with those Barbies. That's what they were for. That's funny. And ironically, years later in my 20s, I designed and made Barbie clothes for a while for one of my great nieces. It's kind of funny that you know, so many different times in my life, the Amazon Beauty as a stage name, as a nickname, was like so well served. Like I was a perfect not perfect, but this combination of tough as well as beauty, or tough as well as tender, or tough as well as affectionate, or whatever. Oh, I didn't even think. Let me try this. So, where's the? Oh, my camera is fuzzy, Pops. I can't understand why, but whatever. It's annoying me. It's annoying me. There we go. Oh, okay. Let me see if I can get that right there in frame. Right there in frame. Ooh, that's wet. Oh, no. Don't smear it, Dory. Although, you know, at other phases or stages of one of my pieces, smearing something would probably not matter much, considering the kind of way I do my work. But smearing right now would not be so good, because I want some of the black to be really precise, and some of it I really probably don't care. But yeah. So, oh man, I don't know if you're still watching, Pops, but earlier I was talking about you because I was talking about how grateful I am of all of the people that have live shows, because it gives me this connection to the world and to new people and to exciting creators and different artists, different mediums, different ways to do the art. I'm super excited that you're doing what you're doing, and you're bringing it to people like me who wouldn't have known you otherwise, wouldn't have known a lot of the creators you have on your shows. I wouldn't have known otherwise. So that's super rad. I think my playlist is getting to the poems that the audio is not the greatest quality, and I can't really hear them, which is fine because I can hear the birds and the outdoor stuff because I have my window open. Oh. Yeah. Maybe I'll just go till I'm done with the black. Not that far from the top, you know. That'd be cool. I can, you know, I can say I did this. I can say, hey, I let people watch me paint. Woohoo! And I was on live. And, you know, as I can, you know, show off to my best friend and remind her that, hey, I showed my heart. Ha ha ha. She's so cute. I love her so much. Networking, promoting. That's right. That is what my show Spotlights does. It used to be called On the Spot, and I changed the name, and I haven't started it yet because we had a death in our community. But once, not that anyone's going to get over his death anytime soon, but once we do get to a place where I can get back to that, I will be back to that. And you bet, Pops, I'm probably going to have you be on the spot on my Spotlights show. That would be super rad. Oh, and by the way, Pops, you can't say you're just a fan, because being a host of a show like what you host, that's a host. That's a broadcast host, babe. That's a creator. That's an artist. That's an art form in itself, by the way. So I forgot to say that the other day when I was watching you on your broadcast. You guys, oh my God, that was one of my best afternoons ever. Thanks, Pops. That yesterday with you guys, I don't even know half of the guys' names that were on that segment, but like with the guy who took his shirt off, all of them, some madmen, man. And I was having so much fun listening to that conversation, just getting to sit back. That was some of the best live broadcast TV. I don't know what you want to call it, but it was amazing. I had so much fun. So much fun. Oh. Okay, wait. Which way should I? Oh, there we go. I think I'm kind of figuring out the camera, you guys. Somewhat. Ooh, there we go. Okay. I think it's still blurry. Damn it. I don't know why. I wonder if I should check the resolution on that other computer. I should make this stop. Come over here to camera advanced. It's on low. Maybe that's that looks better. That looks way better. Okay, so let's try this again. Maybe it doesn't like the angle, or it's too close, or something. It's annoying. It's annoying. Oh, I know what it is. Let me try that. Ooh, hold on. How do I do that? Okay, wrong way. Oh, okay. You guys, forgive me. I'm taking a minute because I want to figure this out. Because, oh, there we go. That works. Okay. So I'm going to try something real quick. I'm going to switch to the camera on the laptop. How's that? How's that? It's a little better, I think. You think? Do you think maybe? There we go. Okay. Luckily, this doing the black. I don't have to put her in these weird positions to do the work that I'm doing, which was also a part of why this was the part of her that I decided to come live with, because some of the other work, when I hadn't really had the design exactly how I thought I would want it. I'm watching from the madness. That's rad. That's so rad. Yeah, so this is perfect because, like I said, I'm just mostly finishing up the outline with the black, and then I'll do any fine touches that I might want to do, and or not. And if I think she's done, then I will let her dry. Let her stew for a while. Another new thing, I think I mentioned this, but it's okay. I hang them on the wall and let them kind of sit there or hang there for a week or so before I seal them, because I've learned that I want to kind of pass it in passing, walk by it, wake up, go to sleep. And I've had a few pieces where I've improved them. I wouldn't say they're great, perfect, whatever. I don't really, I don't like the word perfect, but definitely closer to what I finally envisioned, because I learned that having it on the wall as a piece of art was one of the ways to, connect my brain to what may need still to be done or not done on the piece. So that's really cool. That was a new experience. I did that. It started with a sketch, actually, that I had done for a friend, for him and his daughter. One of the very few pieces that exists out there that is in sketch form. He did not want color on it, and I left it in sketch form because that's what he asked. And it wasn't a commissioned piece. It was a gift. But yeah, he is definitely someone I was going to say yes to, because that's what I do. This piece originally, the original one that was called Surrender, was done around the time I was in that place with the way I was in my life, surrendering to a lot of different things. My favorite painter is Gustav Klimt. And for some people, if they know his work, they're not surprised when I say that. Especially if they know my work. If they've ever seen my work and then trust me, I am not even close to Gustav Klimt. But I have had people tell me they can see the influence. They can see that he's my favorite painter. There's a few things that are just my favorite things. My soul finds my favorite things, and Gustav Klimt is definitely one of them. But his piece, The Kiss, And I got to go to an opening of some of his, not an opening, I'm not that old, but I did get to go to a showing of some of his work. And oh my God, now I can't remember the name of the piece, but there's a piece that was there. I didn't get to see the Kiss. The Kiss is in the Louvre, I think. It's in Venice. Wait, no, the Louvre's, I don't know. The Louvre's in France, I think. I don't know. I'm going to have to go look this up. Anyway, but the Kiss is definitely in Venice. So anyway, what was the name of that dang piece? I'm going to have to go look it up. She was a piece that he had done that was actually confiscated by the Nazis. Pops. And it was returned to the family after, of course, later. And now I got to actually see her. She was behind glass, but I got to see her in New York when I went to New York in 2006. I also got to see some of his sketches on paper that were the sketch work for the paintings, that some of his paintings. That I think was probably more exciting than seeing his paintings. And it comes to mind because a few of my friends, my godmom and my best friend particularly, have told me many times I should leave more of my work in sketch form, or they want to see it in sketch form. Or not so colorful. And I have to remind myself that looking at Gustav Klimt's sketches was more exciting than his painting. So I can understand. I think I can understand where they're coming from. So in the book I'm doing, the majority of it's written. I just have to go back through it, and I'm going to speak the pieces out loud. I do that with my poetry now. I have to speak them out loud before I finish them. Something I picked up from Douglas Kearney. Man's a genius. And I'm going to do some sketches in the book. I'm going to actually sketch some work around the poetry. I did one yesterday as a kind of a run through test kind of thing. Wanted to see what it was like. Printed on sketch paper and sketched, and it wasn't my best. I wasn't even trying to make it a really good sketch. I just kind of wanted to get a feel for like what I would do or how I would do that. And it came out of me, and I already know what I'm going to do for the actual piece that I'm going to put in the book. So that was super cool. So the book's each page of the book basically will end up being a piece of art. So that's really rad. And then I'll get to satisfy anyone out there, like my best friend and my godmom, who love my sketches. And I get why they like them. I do. It's kind of like the difference between some of the sketches I've been seeing, like illustrated poetry sounds awesome. Yeah. So when I'm watching the comic illustrators or the comic sketchers, like Rich Parada, for example, I can understand why someone would want to see the sketch or keep the sketch as a sketch and not have it be in the final form. It's very different. There's a very different aesthetic. It's a different visual. So I can appreciate it. And that's one of the reasons why this book is going to have sketches on the pages. I don't know if I'll sketch every page, but I definitely will be sketching and adding that. I'm not going to rush this one, even though the book is written. I'm not going to rush it. Woo! So we'll see. And in the interim, I will paint. When I'm not working on that, I will paint. Because I have a bunch of canvas that I hadn't put any paint to yet. And that's what I'll be doing. You know what's cool is like the other thing is I'm doing this close up, so I have no idea what the faraway visual is going to be. So we'll see how I feel. Oh, wet paint, no smearing. I have Page 42. Ooh, yeah. I have, I just ordered the hard copy of the first one because I got to read it and I loved it. It made me cry. I hadn't read a comic book since I was a little girl. And that was one of the first ones I had read. Actually, no, that's not true. That's not true. I've read quite a few of Demon Bitch. Very different, but yeah. So technically, it hadn't been the first one, but yeah, Rich's book made me cry, and he knows that. I told him. Oh, my playlist sound thing quit, but that's okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. I feel like my hands are getting lazy. Hail, Christy. Yep. Oh my god. I do, like, I've been having lunch with Christy now for, oh god, a couple months, and I started this piece, actually. I started this one while I was on, or she was on, and I was watching her. She was in the background. I always set myself up like so I can watch her, but still work on whatever I'm working on. And I don't always get to talk or message her while I'm there. But I it was so hard when I started having lunch with Christy. At first, I would just, hi Kevin, hi brother, hey Pops. Kevin is my brother, and Kevin, you should follow Pops, and Pops, you should follow Kevin for sure. And so anyway, it didn't take long after I started watching Christy, or I'd be spending lunches with Christy. It didn't take me long to have to pull out the sketchbook or the canvas or a pencil or something. I couldn't sit there and not draw. Like, she inspires me so much, and I love her. I love her as a person, but I really, really dig her color schemes and the way she does her work. It's just nothing short of genius, and she knows I feel that way about her. I love it. I love anything with bold, strong colors, themes, lines, you name it. I'm sucked in real easily, and she definitely has that in spades. So I was looking at the wrong camera to see where I was at, if you guys could see what I was doing. How's it going in Louisiana, brother? How's the weather? Oh, it's gorgeous here. I should be outside, but that's okay. I'm painting. I am going to run out of black. Probably I'll have enough to get this done. But I won't be doing any black watercolors anytime soon. After this, that's for sure. I'll have to go get more. I do have tons of acrylics though. I like acrylics too. Those are very forgiving. Like I said, I had never worked with oils before, and part of it was because I can't stand the idea of having to clean brushes and deal with something that's not water-based. I'm not a fan. And I kind of I'm okay with the coverage. I'm okay with the way the paint goes on the canvas. I don't know. Like I said, oil takes too long to dry, and I don't like the fact that, like, with the way I paint, kind of like on the fly and with no plan, and the canvas talks to me or the colors talk to me, oils, I don't know, it just doesn't really gel. It doesn't go very well with me as the way I am. So anyway, I will finish the oil painting that I started at some point. Hi, Rich. I was just talking about you, Rich. We were just talking about you. I was telling Pops how your book made me cry. And yeah, I can't wait to get it, and I can't wait for the second one. And I love it, and I'm obsessed. I'm officially, as I told Pops, I'm officially obsessed with comics. And I started my Amazon Beauty comic strip. So instead of my book being a calendar, I think it's going to end up being a comic book. That's another book. Yet another book that's written but not finished. I just have to do the artwork. And I might do it as a comic book. It's a 365 daily. Hey, Rich, my brother was on here. I don't know if he's still here, but Kevin, meet Rich. Rich meet Kevin. But yeah, like, so originally, I know, like, I totally came up with that during your show yesterday, Pops, and I was cracking up later last night because I'm like, that's actually not a bad idea. Instead of doing a calendar, like, who needs another fucking calendar? But anyway, instead of doing a calendar, I could just do a comic book of them, and it makes so much more sense when I have over 1,000 different jokes like that I could write like that as a comic book. It's a lot. People ask me sometimes why I don't do stand-up on a stage anymore, and I don't mind it. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not scared of it. I was off raising my kids. That's the only reason. That is the only reason. So I write, and I so much prefer writing. One of my comic friends and I were just talking about doing the Los Angeles 48-hour film project. I don't know if San Diego is going to have one, but if LA is having one in August, and it's so cool because I was if I do that, if I go to LA for the weekend and do that, I will make sure that I figure out where I can see Christy while I'm there. That's for sure. So yeah, I'm going to give credit to Pops for getting my head thinking about using a comic book theme instead of a calendar for my comedy thing. It'd be kind of funny, actually, I think. Ooh. As we say, okay, let me take a minute. Dory has infinite artistic expressional talents and abilities. An indigo child would look to her for guidance. Aww. That is amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Sometimes I question my own self when it comes to the different variations of my creativity. But then I have to tell that mind, I have to tell that to shut up when I go there, because part of why I started finishing things I started was because I gave myself permission to quit one process of whatever, painting, and go write, or quit writing and go paint, or quit writing and painting and do some stand-up or do some comedy writing or something. Because I get super easily bored, and if I get too bored, I get too lazy, and then nothing good's going to come out of that. And if I did try to force any creativity, it's just going to look stupid. It's just not going to come out right. So that's one of the reasons why I have and try to cultivate all of the different variations of my creativity, because yeah, I get too easily bored. That's the number one reason. You can do Crom comic strips too. I keep telling myself to finish what I have going. I was been working on that book for a while, and I put it aside to finish Magic Man, and then I put the other book aside to finish Magic. I put all kinds of things aside to finish Magic Man. But now that one's done, I can move on to all of these other things that I had on the plate. Ooh. And as I said, I don't think you were on here earlier, Pops. And I've told Rich this. I have a couple of children's books written that I wrote in, my 30s. And they probably need to be rewritten, definitely edited. But at some point, I want to illustrate them myself, or talk to someone about whatever. But I've never done that kind of work. Like I said, my work's been on paper, been on canvas. The idea of putting it in a digital world, it was never in my head. Like I couldn't wrap my mind around that. And I don't know how else to describe it other than being a purist. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm a kinesthetic person. I like my hands on stuff. For some reason, I couldn't connect to digital art simply because to me it didn't give me the feeling. It didn't give me the touch part. Maybe it's because I worked with charcoal for so long, and that was the only thing I would use. Charcoal was the only medium I would use when I was younger, because I always wanted my fingers dirty. We love people who do kids' books and give them special promotion. Well, I'm not there yet, but when I am, oh my God, this is where I'm at. I went through 3 computers, 4 or 5 cloud drives, and finally consolidated all of this unfinished stuff into one folder. And yeah, they're in there now, and I have them in one place, and I have them in front of me. And they used to be kind of like I could ignore them because they were in a box or they were in an old computer. But now everything's in one place finally, and so I'm getting organized. Woo. It's one of those things where when I get to that point, I don't want to do it half-assed. I don't want to do anything to that degree, the way that what I have in my head for what I want to do for those children's books, it's not going to be anything that I'm going to be able to just do. Similar to my paintings. Like I can't just sit and create one of these. They're just not something I can do, which is fine. And that's what I have in my head about these illustrations I want. And they're in my mind. I can see them. And I want to learn some techniques I don't have. Hi, Kevin. Still here. Had to see my dogs were barking. I'm all over the place right now. And Pops, who's watching, shared me too. So, yeah, I think I'm live on Twitch. Yeah, like I had to. I never do this, Kevin. I did this, it's Memorial Day. I put my dad's, I have a locket with my dad's ashes in it. And here's my custom emotes. Ah, that's rad. That is so rad. I got to, been attending these live broadcasts all weekend here and there when I could catch them with Pops Van Zant, who's watching as well, Kevin. And he and a few other creators have gotten me obsessed with comic books again, not that I ever was. Oh my God. And earlier, brother, at the bottom of the screen, this camera fell. That's okay. Not using it. Ha! It says, what was your favorite toy as a child and why? And my favorite toy was a brown teddy bear, but I was also thinking about how we used to play with your G.I. Joe dolls. I loved your G.I. Joe dolls more than any of my toys. G.I. Joe was the best. It was the best ever. Oh, I need to put some black here and there. Let's see. I'm going to start this from the top. Okay. Do.
Is it really him making me swoon this way?
I can't think of a favorite. It took me a while too. Like at first when I was thinking about it, I was thinking it was something else. And then I had to remember the brown teddy bear. I had that thing with me when we went into foster care. I remember one of the times I ran away, that black teddy bear was with me, and it was what I used as a pillow on the side of the road next to a bayou when I laid down to take a rest in the middle of the night during one of my runaways. One of these days I want to see if I can find one similar to that. I do actually have a little teddy bear I bought myself. It's not the same, but I do.
He's romancing my heart even though we're apart.
I love stuffed animals.
He's carved his way in now, somehow, to that part of me no one gets to see. He's in now, somehow, to my core of me, excavating all of me, my essence to the crux of who I am now. I can't even see straight. Can't barely.
Almost done. Almost done. Almost done. Almost done. I guess you could say G.I. Joe. Yeah, it was kind of our go-to, you know? I remember Michelle playing with Barbies, and I couldn't stand the Barbies. All I really did with the Barbies was cut their hair off, take their clothes off, rip their legs off, their arms. Yeah, I was definitely a tomboy. I was definitely a tomboy. Actually, playing outside at Grandma's and making mud pies and getting dirty, that was probably way more fun than G.I. Joe. Or figuring out how much trouble we could get in running around on the farm.
Without this heat, without his hands.
I remember when I was fondest memories, right? I remember one Christmas I got a camera. It was like maybe the first Christmas after we were at Grandma's and Grandpa's, and that camera probably, the closest thing to maybe another, it wasn't really a toy. Oh, I forgot a whole section over here. Holy crap. Okay. Yeah, having that camera was rad. That was a whole new experience in my world. That was probably my first art form, was photography, because I had that camera as a 10-year-old girl. That was one of my first gifts that I remember having that opened up my mind to creativity.
He claimed me, this woman,
did art. Certified portrait photographer here. I'm cracking myself up, just like, just another creative outlet, just another, whatever. I don't know if you heard me talking about it, Kevin, but one of my comedian friends and I were talking about doing the 48-hour film project again. I've only done it once before, but we were talking about doing it in August in LA, and that would give me an opportunity to direct again, which is rad. Directing comedy or directing that was so much more fun than being on the other side. Like, I love being behind the camera so much more than in front of it. I had a group of comedians and we did a sitcom, and the pilot is written. We just, I never finished it. It's yet another unfinished project in my folder. But I have the sitcom written, and most of it was written, really, honestly, not even just only me. It was me and the comics who were working on it together. A lot of it was done and created from improv. So I would put the comics on the stage, give them kind of the general idea of the scene, and they would go with it. And then I would watch back the video, and I would write the script from it. So most of the pilot is from their improv, and oh man, I love that way more than I ever loved telling a joke on a stage. Producing and getting to do that part of it. Producing my poetry videos was super rad too. Like, that's a whole other art form that I wasn't expecting to love as much as I do. Like, finding just the right video clip to follow the words and follow the music, whatever. Okay, so, oh yeah, I do have, okay, not done. Almost done. Not done. How much time? Where am I? Okay. So yeah, I guess, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to do anything else until I get the black done in this. Okay, so I gotta really focus, because I want to do the blue. Actually, it's just one line going all the way down. Woo, my God. Nervous. Although, the good thing, like I said, watercolor is a little forgiving. Like, if I fuck up entirely, I can probably fix it later. So, that's what happened to me with music, I think. Ended up liking the recording and production rather than playing. Yeah, right? Yeah. Oh my God, brother. I don't think I told you, but so this last spoken word poetry album that I did, or book, it started off as a book and then it turned into an album, and I ended up doing my own music for it. I mean, simple little, I didn't need, nothing too complex. Use my little garage band, some editing, some mixing, some mix pad magic, and created my own music tracks for the poetry. And I loved the experience. It was so amazing to be able to say, that's probably my favorite thing, that I can say, like, there's nothing on that music album. It's a poetry album. That's not mine. Like, all of it's mine. The words are mine. The music's mine. The only thing that isn't mine are the video clips. But I don't, those are in the videos. But in the music album itself, it's not really music, but in the spoken word album, which releases June 6th, by the way, it'll be in Apple and Spotify. Yeah, it's all me. It's all me. Of course, I had to use my middle name in my art profile, which was kind of annoying. I did not want to do that. I did not want to use my middle name, but I had to because there's a Doris Jones blues Doris Jones, and I was getting confused with her when my stuff would feed over in the music thing, when it would feed, so I put my middle name in there. So hopefully when this album drops, they won't confuse me with her. I couldn't take ownership of my artist link or my art, whatever, as an artist in Apple because it was assigning my stuff to her. But anyway. Yeah. It's when you have the name like Doris Jones, right? It's in the blood. You bet, bro. You bet. I remember Mom playing and singing with that band, that country band. And I just, it is in our blood. You are not kidding, man. Oh, this is so cool. I don't know if you've seen it, brother, but I created my first comic strip last night. I got no sleep. And I used my own pictures and this silly little cartoon app. But it was fun. I didn't do any drawing. I thought it was kind of appropriate to use my pictures because the whole comic strip is called The Amazon Beauty, plus the art, right? We have all of the above, man. All of the above. Somewhere in my storage unit, you've seen the art from our ancestors on the family tree. I don't think I have. I don't remember. I remember Linda sharing some pictures with me, but I don't remember seeing a tree with art on it. I might need one of you guys to resend that to me. I feel like between raising my kids and working and life, I feel like I've been under a rock for a while in so many ways. And I need to stop that. That's one of the reasons why I'm live right now, Kevin, is like, I'm, this, super comfortable by myself, super comfortable alone in solitude, doing my thing, and letting anybody in, letting anybody see me. Yeah, whatever, bro. I'm like, okay, you want to see me? Come find me. But yeah, so I'm trying to be more open and out there and let people see the Dory that I've not wanted anyone to know my whole life. It's been a different experience. Oh my God, brother. Hi, Quentin. Happy Memorial Day. I came on live to draw. I was just telling my brother about how I'm doing this because I had to be brave and show my heart and let people see who I really am. Our first cousin wrote the Declaration of Independence. That's right. That's right. Right? It's no shock that we come from the people we come from, Kevin. But it also is no shock that we are who we are, because despite where we came from, we have prevailed. We have prevailed. As I tell people I mentor, this world and its people will not crush me. I will not allow it. I will kick this life in its teeth if I have to. I plan on living it. That's so cool. So yeah, I think, yeah, I'm almost done. Woohoo! So excited. She's not the largest piece I've ever done, but she's the second largest piece I've ever done. The largest piece I've ever done was a piece called Pink, and she was bought earlier this year. It's really cool. I hung her on the wall behind me, again, because I learned that hanging up my art made a whole hell of a lot more sense than having it sit in a closet. So that's one of the reasons why most of my art is on the walls in my room. So I hung Pink up behind me, and she only hung there for maybe a week or two, and she was bought. I went on a few live things, and she was behind me, and a friend, actually someone I know, ended up coming all the way up to Ramona and picking her up, and she hangs on his wall now. She is there, but she is huge. I can't remember how big she is. She's the biggest piece I ever did. Definitely a huge undertaking. She was a huge undertaking. Right, Quentin? I mean, like, there's just some of the history that we find out from our ancestry, you know? It's amazing. Okay, so it's not a perfect line right there. I'm a little stressing out right now, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I can fix it. I can fix it. Oh my God. I hope you guys can see this okay. Do you see her? She's so birdie. Quentin, I was telling them earlier, I was playing with this app because I don't do digital art at all, really. And I was playing with this app, and I mean, it's a silly little cartoon app. And I turned this actually, she wasn't even done yet, but I turned her into a cartoon because I wanted to see what it would look like as a digital representation. It's quite something. Hi, Nikki Love. Thank you, hon. Thank you. And it's quite something. So you digital artist people out there, I'm probably gonna come try to soak up as much information as you have out there, because I'm digging what I can do. It basically takes a painting like this, this painting that, whether someone wants her, buys her, or whatever. But there's so many things I can do with her outside of this. And one of the things I do now is I try to create clothing with some of my art, because as a woman, I like really colorful clothing. And I have a skirt with my painting of Roar on the front. And it's one of my favorite skirts ever. It came out so perfectly. It's on my Etsy shop, but I had to order it for myself because I wanted to see. I'm really picky about clothing, and so, but that skirt was perfect. It came out just perfect. So, man, if money were no object, my whole entire clothing line would probably be clothing with my art on it. And so that is definitely something else I've got that I tried to devote time to. I tried to devote time to it, but again, it's like, you know, there's so many different things I want to do, but I don't have time for all of it. One of these days when I don't have a day job, maybe, you know, but that's okay. The day job pays the bills, and my sons don't want or need for anything. And if they do, they know to ask me. I may not have it right now, but I'll work my ass off to get it for them when I can. You bet. It's funny, like, one day your dream will come true. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Yes, for sure. Right? And, you know, I do know this. It will definitely come true sooner rather than later if I'm actually doing the work to get there. There was a time 6 years ago I wouldn't even show my work to people. Okay, tell me what OG art skill means, sweetheart, because I'm new. I don't know what that means. You're gonna have to tell me. Ooh, I just realized okay. I might give you guys another 10 minutes or so because I just realized I need to touch up some black in this area. I forgot about this. I added some color over here where I had blacked before. And then I just need to clean up some things. Oh, so yeah. So, hi, Legacy Mirror. Kevin asked you. Oh, that's so rad. Nice to meet you. Yeah, my brother, man. I love him. He's one of my favorite people in the whole world. I know I'm live on Facebook, and whether they see this or not later, I don't know. But my brother's my favorite. Kevin, you heard that? You're my favorite. I went to that memorial concert Saturday for Van Bates, Kevin. That was amazing. I'm living in Ramona, bro. Right, actually, I live walking distance from my son's high school. Trevor is graduating, and he'll be off to college. He got accepted to 4 different colleges. I think he picked the one in Oregon. Not sure, but I'm sure he'll be playing football wherever he's going, and he'll be genius with whatever he does, because their dad and their stepmom and I did a really good job, and their grandma. Those boys are just amazing. Oh my God. Okay, 6'3". Okay, and the other day, Tyler, my younger, I know, offensive lineman. Yep. His coaches called him Beast. That was his nickname. His mom's nickname is the Amazon Beauty, so it's no shock that my child's nickname is Beast. But Tyler is eye to eye to me now. I'm 5'10" and he's 16. You know, like, he's gonna be up there 6'2", right along with his brother in freaking no time, and I'm just gonna be like, oh my God, I'm gonna have these 2 giant boys on my hands. I remember, Kevin, do you remember when I went home my height's pretty much. Do you remember I went home like for the holidays one time and I was standing with you, Joe, and Felix, and you were all so tall, and I got scared because I was like, ooh, I hope you guys don't try to like pay back for all the times I tortured y'all when we were kids, because you guys are so much bigger than me. Because there was a time I was the big kid. I was the one like messing with y'all. Oh my God, that was something else way back. Okay, so I am. Oh, Ike is so funny. I love that I have company while I'm doing this because I keep finding places to work on for her. I hope you guys can see this okay. So this is one of the things about, I love that she's got so many complexities to the hair that I did, that I had a whole little section I had forgotten to ink over here. Okay, I called it ink. I'm not really inking it, but okay, I'm going to blame the comics that I've been following because they talk about inking their work. I feel like that's what I'm doing. Oh my God. That's too funny. Yeah, so my cousin, my brother and my cousins are all super tall now. By the way, so many fave toys from childhood. Okay, I would have to say mine were Micro Machines, tiny cars with tiny towns. Wish I still had them. Those are so rad. Like I know they're not exactly the same thing, but those little like Christmas villages or train. Oh my God, I want a train. I want a train room. There's a museum here in San Diego. I don't know where you guys are, but the things we learn and keep from others.
New world of reality.
I missed something, Legacy Mirror. I'm not sure what that's about. But there's a museum here. There's a train museum here. And oh my God, I love the train museum. It's so amazing. It's so amazing. Kevin, did you ever go to the museum? I know you went to some of the museums with me, but what about the train one? Did we ever go to the train one?
Always was.
Oh, you'll have to come visit San Diego again.
Listen, little sis. You're beautiful.
That would be so rad, Kevin. I would be sober this time. I'm talking to your soul. Sweet little girl.
Deep down you're there.
My poem playing right now is called Listen, Little Sis. And it's about treating our inner child with love. Speaking of childhood toys and favorite toys and childhood life, the poem that's playing right now of mine. You, love you. You hear me? Love yourself. I almost know it by heart, not quite. There's a few of them I know. Like I'm getting to the point where I know them by heart. I never had an interest in learning my own poetry by heart. Like I would write it, I'd put it in a book, and then I would move on. I love that, Nikki. Yes. Tell yourself you love yourself. So this year was the first year I started to read my poetry before I was done finalizing it for a book. And then now I'm learning to try to memorize it because when things start opening up more and I find a venue that has spoken word poetry performance stuff, I'm going to go. I'm going to try to do more of that in person and get, not necessarily slam poetry per se, but definitely spoken word for sure. I like some of the slam poetry, but I find that a lot of it is about, rightly so and good. This is not a diss or a complaint at all, but most of it is about serious issues, public politics, concerns, social concerns, those kinds of things. All good stuff. Definitely different than me. I'm the romantic poet. I'm the love poet. I do have one piece about liberation as a woman, and that other than that piece though, most of my poetry is about love and romance, and I do have some that are probably a little morbid because they're about death, but I like writing about love because I am love. Ooh, okay. So you guys, I'm getting close to being done with what I need to do with her. I'm not even sure I need to do anything else to her. I think she might be done. Like done. I might have to figure out a way to. Ooh, yeah. Let me move this camera. Look, I'm on two screens. Wait, how do I go? Ooh, here we go. So this is her. It's It's so, the whole camera angle, like mirror versus not being mirrored, it's so weird. I see in my stream in StreamYard, she's super blurry. In the one where I'm actually in there as a guest, it's super crystal clear. So hopefully, if you hold it in front of you, you can see it. Is my feed better than the other feed? Is that what it is? Because I'm on two different computers. That is better. Okay, good. So yeah, so this is a different, it's because it's a different computer. This computer that I'm on, the one I actually use to stream with, one is blurry. Okay. Yeah, it's that camera. Oh, actually, it's not the camera. It wouldn't be the camera because the camera on that computer is fine. It's the stream. It's probably just a weak signal kind of thing. So yeah, so there she is. And like I said earlier, for anyone who missed it, I'm going to go hang her on the wall. And there she will hang for a while because I like to gel on it and kind of think on it and look at it and do that reflection here and there kind of thing for a while before I done. And then if I'm done, I'll seal her and I use a acrylic gloss spray to seal them because they are watercolors. She's a watercolor. Sometimes I use acrylics, sometimes I use watercolor and acrylics. Sometimes I have been known to use every medium in my room, in my stockpile. I used lipstick one time in one of my paintings because no other red in my box was the red I wanted. Thank you, Quentin. So I have a strong suspicion she's done. I will need to paint the sides because I like painting the sides of my canvas. I cannot stand leaving them unpainted. I do have there's this, oh my God, let me tell you, I have to fix this sheet. There's like this blue in the middle of the purple. Where is it? I will fix that. That should be, actually it should be pretty easy to fix. It's watercolor. So you have a true artist heart, using anything and everything. Yes, for sure. It's like the question. So real quick, so a couple of things I get asked. What medium do you use? I think that's a common question. And it's so weird because I always seem to feel like annoyed when someone would ask me this question, but only because I use so many different things. The only reason it kind of sort of annoyed me was it's a long answer sometimes, or I don't remember. But now I'm appreciating that question because on Saturday, and I was talking about this earlier, I got to watch Kate Krasinski, I think is how I say your last name. And if you hear this and I butchered your last name, please forgive me. But go find Muted Dysphoria is her Facebook page. She painted on Saturday at the memorial concert I was at. And I'm going to get teary-eyed and cry again just talking about it. She's just beautiful. Her work is it's stunning was the word I used. And I got to watch her for like we got there like around 4 and she painted until the night was done. And I want to say we were done like around midnight or something. So she painted like the whole time. I got to watch a blank white canvas go from blank white canvas to the finished product. And although whether it's finished or not, she can say, but it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So that was part of what inspired me to do this. In addition to the other creators out there that I've started following, the other artists out there that have shown me their passion. And as you said in your comment, Legacy Mirror, that true artist heart, like I wasn't willing to show it. 6 years ago, I wouldn't let people look at my art, let alone think about selling it or sharing it or showing it or talking about it. It was hidden. It was this in the closet thing. And so the last 6 years have been a very progression of opening my heart to people, opening my work to people, showing my work to people. So these other creators, these other artists, Christy Shen, Rich Parada, Kate, these painters, these illustrators, these comic book, just these incredible genius people have given me the strength and the courage to do this and come on here today and honor my dad, who was a man, like I said earlier in the broadcast. He was definitely someone who was fearless. He was pretty fucking fearless, you know. It is Memorial Day, and I'm going to round it out. I feel like I'm talking all over the place. Thank you, Nikki. Yes, I did find some inspirations. So yeah, my dad was a Navy SEAL. He served in Vietnam, and he did a bunch of he was an adrenaline junkie, admitted adrenaline junkie. And the only thing that finally slowed him down was a car accident. It was the most ridiculous, cruel irony to be an ex-Navy SEAL stuntman who was, they called him the dynamite stick guy. I don't know. There's probably a technical word for it, but he worked for oil companies, and he was the one they would call when they needed to blow something up. Because that's what he did. He jokingly would say, like, if the job required someone to, like, maybe possibly die, they would say, call Tom. And so that was my dad. That explains a lot about me. But that bravery and that courage that he had, the only thing that slowed him down was this car accident, because it took one of his legs at up the upper thigh area, and then he lost the use of an arm. It's the only thing that slowed him down finally. And he did. He moved into a world of living at home and staying at home a lot and that kind of thing. He still would go out hunting and stuff. And so I wanted to come on today and honor him and honor all of the other creators out there that I've been following. Pops and Christy and Joshua, Rich, all of these super brave people who come on and show their hearts to us and share them, because my favorite poet, and I hope I don't butcher his quote, but he's like, if you think you're a badass, try showing your heart to everyone. And I'm paraphrasing, but if you like poetry as much as I would tell you to go find mine, Michael Xavier, best poet in my opinion, him or Douglas Kearney. Those are my two gurus when it comes to poetry. So with that, I will sign off. I can't believe I was on here for almost 2 hours. Holy crap. Oh my God. Painting for 2 hours, that's not a shocker at all. Vulnerability is the ultimate strength because it has so many others behind it. I love that. I don't know, Nikki, wherever you are, however you are, you got to follow me. You got to find me so I can find you. I'll make sure to follow you back and such. Obsessed with Leonard Cohen again. You're going to have to remind me who he is. Oh, and that reminds me, brother, I don't have a phone number for you because the phone number I have for you did not work. So I don't know if you can message me on Twitch or Twitter or what, but I have a new phone number and I need to get it to you, brother. Thank you, Nikki. Thanks for following me. Thanks for the follow. Business line. Okay. That I'm pretty sure I know how to find it. I'm going to try not to go, I know, SJ Plumbing. That for sure I know how to find. Painting is the labor of love. That's for sure. 6 years ago, when I put a name to my art company, art business, the idea of putting any kind of business, the word business and work, just work in general, the word work, along with my art, it didn't make any sense to me. So that's one of the reasons why I called it Doris Jones Labors of Love. Because there isn't a single painting I've ever done that doesn't have love behind it in some way. This one even, like, this is very, very different. This is very, very different from the original. The original is actually in my closet, and if it wouldn't take me like forever to find her, I'd go find her. But the original painting, the 8x10 that inspired this painting, is very, very different. Similar, the pose of the woman is the same, but the rest is that's where the comparison ends. And I'm really happy about that. I'm actually very happy about that. So it'll be really interesting to see what she'll look like after I spray her, because the acrylic gloss I use does turn my paintings into something that would make someone question the medium. It's one of the reasons why I have to be okay with that question, actually, because I've been asked that. That's part of why people ask, because the gloss makes them extremely shiny, almost like they look like they have been painted with oil or an acrylic. And some of them are acrylic, but I usually spray them in general because I cannot stand the idea of them getting wet or fucked with weather-wise. I think it's hysterical that I could tell people, my painting can withstand a flood. Yeah, I'm just saying. I find that funny. So thank you guys. Thank you all for being here with me. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm so glad I got to see all of you. Love you, brother. I'm so happy you're here, and thank you for sharing it. And I get to meet more new people, wonderful people. I get to meet Nikki and what was the other guy? Something Mirror. Love you. Legacy Mirror. So I appreciate all of you for joining and being on here with me today. So, mwah.